Holy Biebs, Batman!
Welcome to the show, everyone. You know what we're going to do. We got our on-the-spot comic reviews. We got some toys, video games, TV, and interweb stuff. But we're going to roll through that real quick because I got GTA to play. Me and Franklin got some papers to make. So let's start it off. We're going to get going with our on-the-spot reviews. Geoff,
right.
what did you check out this week?
This week, I didn't have a lot of books. So...
God bless Villains Month.
I did have a lot of trade paperbacks, though.
I saw that.
Yes. Like 8. Or something
That's
like
a
that.
lot.
It's crazy. So anyways, one of my purchases was Thor, God of Thunder, number 13, the first part of a new story arc by the steadfast Jason Aaron and new artistic collaborator Ron Garney.
If there was a person I was going to be happy to see come on Thor after the last guy, Garney would be one of them.
Well, reading this, his art has vastly improved.
Whoa.
Like, it looks gorgeous. Like, it's amazing. It's
really evolved. Like,
oh, yeah. It's way better. I mean,
wow.
It's still got his stylings. You can see it in the faces and everything else.
It looks painted.
Yeah, it looks painted. You know it's Ron Garney art, but it's just miles ahead of what he's been doing. Like, look at that, eh?
Like I'm reading through some of the Cap stuff from Mark Waid, and Garney does art on that, and
exactly
that looks nothing like his.
Well, that's
work.
the thing. Like
it's still in his style, but wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's like where he started, like his big break, right? And this is it's amazing. So it's the first part of a new arc called The Accursed, kind of tying into the new movie, right, with Malekith, so the Dark Elf, and it's really good. I'm not going to spoil it all, but obviously Thor and Malekith are going to fight.
I like how he looks like old Malekith, not tweaking it to look like the movie.
Exactly. So, well, you
with
never know as the series goes on. It's hard
the movie design is fine, but I mean, if they're going to do him in the book, let's not.
Well, that's the thing. Like
alter
he's essentially just returned, so he's going to have his classic look. But you know, he could change it up, I'm guessing, later on or whatever. Very good book. Highly, highly, highly recommended. It's
been one of the best Marvel Now books.
The other cool thing, it's kind of like 60s Marvel, where they throw a little extra in the back. They have a map of the 9 realms.
I want that in a poster.
I know.
Like a cloth map.
It looks pretty awesome. A cloth map would be awesome. Like a real... Like, they should do that. Like, it looks sweet.
Amazing.
So it's got everything, like Vanaheim and, of course, Asgard, Midgard, all that stuff. Muspelheim and all that. So it's great.
Plus Yggdrasil in there as well.
It looks beautiful.
That's wicked.
It's even got the Kingdom of the Dead down there at the base.
Nice.
So yeah, it's cool. It harkens back to those old 60s, 70s, early 80s Marvel comics where they throw in a little extra pin-ups or whatever in the back. I love that. This is awesome. So thumbs up, and I give it a 6 out of 6 Geoffs on this one.
Your rotating scale.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
What'd you read, Gary?
I read one of my favorite books for the past 31 issues. It's been spectacular.
31 issues.
I can't believe the book's been going on this long already.
Yeah, I know.
But Daredevil by Mark Waid. Just phenomenal. Since the Daredevil crossover... 3 years or so now ago, where he took over the Hand and
Shadowland.
Yeah. That was I couldn't think of the name of it. Where he took over the Hand and became like devil possessed and went on his road trip to clear his head out, and he came back to New York. Mark Waid's been doing a fantastic job on Daredevil. I think he won an Eisner for year 1.
I think so. Yeah.
Chris Samney's again.
Is he
Eisner.
back on art?
Yeah, I think he's on every issue pretty much.
Yeah.
Again, he's won Eisners for Daredevil's art. One of my pet peeves with the modern day comic industry is cover art not reflecting the interiors. This book is thematically driven on the cover.
Cool.
So it may not be a point form of what's going on in the book, but it thematically ties in. Yeah. Which I'm fine with, and it's had some gorgeous covers. I think issue 1 had the typeface issue, where
that's right.
Whatever was shown was made up of the word of what it was. So if there was like a water tower, it was made up of the words water tower, and it's been spectacular. It's been one of the best books that Marvel puts out on a monthly basis.
I heartily agree.
They haven't really been promoting it and putting that much press attention on it, which is a shame because it is just a damn fine book. It's done a great balance between multi-issue arcs and single-issue standalones. This issue kicks off a brand new arc featuring the old-timey villain Jester.
Oh, man.
He's right there on the cover, so not really a spoiler.
No spoilers.
But it kicks off a great arc, kind of using media manipulation with the Serpent, Sons of the Serpent or Serpent Society. I can never remember what they're called. Sons of the Serpent.
Yeah.
This radical racist hate group in the Marvel Comics. And basically this trial, jury decides the verdict from this trial. Things get out of hand, and Daredevil's forced into action to save the jurors and the district attorney. Everything kind of just goes to hell for Daredevil really quick in this issue. And the cool thing is his power set is kind of compromised by what's going on in the issue. So
everyone compromises his power set, though. That's the whole thing with Daredevil.
Well, but his powers also play in and help out quite a lot in the storylines. But in this one, like, most of his powers are compromised by what's going on. Like, what's set in motion almost completely nullifies his power set.
Yeah.
So that's always really cool. And there's a great story arc going on, kind of the secondary tale. Although it's being how Wade writes, it's almost at the forefront. And the main story is Matt Murdock's friend, Foggy Nelson, his health issues at the moment in the book. And there's been great little story bits dealing with his relationship with Foggy and their working and personal relationship as well. And it's just a fantastic issue. The art is fantastic. It's
always good.
It's not the hyper-realistic Finch or art like that, but it looks and feels like a comic book.
Yeah.
And it's got such great style to it, and it's a joy to read this book every month.
Sure
Hank Pym shows up in these books from time to time, and I'm a bit of a Hank Pym fan, and he's great in this again, doing some cool work with his little worker ants.
That's cool.
So they got some screen time, and quite a shocker of an ending.
Well, don't spoil.
No, I did not see this coming. I don't know what's going to happen because there's a tease for the next issue with the Monster Society. So I'm like, what? I don't quite understand how the ending of this ties into the Monster Society showing up. But okay, I'm in.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely fantastic book. I would highly recommend if there's one.
Is it a good jumping on point this issue?
I'd say yes. It does a good quick recap of what's going on in Matt's life. You'll appreciate the story more if you've been reading it, but I would call this a good jumping on point. Mark Waid does a good job setting up what's going on, not recapping the entire status quo, but not absolutely needing it to know and enjoy the
accessible.
issue. Yeah. So definitely check this out. This is definitely in my top 3 Marvel books that they put out nowadays.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Fantastic read. Go check out Daredevil number 31.
Cool.
You got a trade in your hand, Geoff.
I do have a trade. Actually, it's not even a trade. It is an original hardcover graphic novel. Put out by Archaea Press. I really love Archaea.
Been making some good news lately, haven't they, those guys?
Yeah, they do a lot of fantastic books. This one I picked up because I thought the cover looked kind of cool. It's cloth bound. It's called Iron or the War After, and it's by S.M. Vidori. Never heard of him. I think it's his first
pretty
one,
cool cover,
actually.
And
yeah,
pretty cool title.
It is pretty neat. So, it sounded like kind of like a Cold War type story, or sort of like a tail end of World War II type story. It's an anthropomorphic story, so it's got animals in the shapes of humans, right? Kind of like
tails,
yeah,
and
like
all that
or
stuff.
Ninja Turtles or any of that kind of stuff. And the art is amazing. It's all watercolor painted, and it just looks beautiful. So I really thought I would enjoy this book a whole lot, just by the looking at it.
You flipping through it as well. The scripting looks really good.
Yeah.
It's all the speech bubbles aren't taking up the entire panel.
Exactly.
Which in this type of
it's
format,
kind of minimalist.
Yeah, this type of format book, you tend to see giant, massive dialogue bubbles which obscure the art.
Exactly.
But this seems to be laid out really well.
It is. But I had a problem with it. And maybe it was because it was his first book. I just couldn't get into it. It seemed very disjointed. It's almost like there was dialogue missing, or scenes missing, or just whole chapters missing in between parts. So reading it, you just couldn't really get a grasp on it. Like, you kind of get some of the basic plots of what they're going to do and what's happening, but it's just like it was random newspaper clippings cut and put together, like, to make a story, right? Like, it was just not that good. Artistically, A+. Like, it's gorgeous, and I like just looking at it. But it's hard to read. It is very hard to read, and it's kind of sad that it is that way. I was hoping I would enjoy it. I was hoping it would be just a fantastic book I could, like, cherish forever. For me, it's just an art book. And I find that a little disappointing. So I can only give it a 2 out of 4 on the Geoff scale. So,
yeah, just flipping through it looks like spectacular.
Yeah, it looks great, but I'm hoping if he does something in the future, he tightens up the script a little bit, makes it a little more, let's call it accessible. Let it flow a bit more even. And I like Cold War stories, and I like World War II stories, and I like this type of book, but it's just not that good, and I wish it was. So that's it for my trade review this week anyways.
Excellent. Thank you.
I guess it's time for our Pendulum Power Panel.
Yeah! Cue the graphic!
All right, what's the graphic? Okay, what's the Power Panel?
The Power Panel this week, it's not really the flashiest panel in the world. It's not really one of the big profile top tier books, but it's something that made me go squee on the inside. It was from Indestructible Hulk number 13.
Good book.
Good, fantastic book. They've got a whole time travel arc going on now, kind of consequences of the Age of Ultron. And Hulk and his little robot companion, which is a digital electronic copy of Banner's mind, which is really cool. Get time dropped back into Camelot times, and he's having run-ins and confrontations with the Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, and Merlin, and Black Knight.
I love the Black Knight.
So my favorite panel of the week was throughout the course of the story, they're confronting quite possibly the greatest names for villains that I've seen in probably a decade. Chronarchists.
Yeah, I know.
Chronal anarchists, which is great. I just love the combination of that word. And the Hulk's getting attacked and kind of getting super aged, so he kind of ends up looking like the Maestro a little bit.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the battle, Merlin actually teleports the ebony blade into the Hulk's hands to fight this guy. So there's a panel of the Hulk holding the ebony blade through like a time attack, and
it just cuts right through.
Yeah. So anytime you put a sword in the Hulk's hand, you put a smile on my face.
I know, it's awesome.
It just makes me think of World War Hulk. But
Planet Hulk.
But the fact that it's the Black Knight's ebony blade as well.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
It's pretty awesome.
So that was my choice of Power Panel of the week. Close second was actually from a DC book. It was Harley Quinn's .1 issue. It wasn't really a panel. It was just a little tiny bit of dialogue. The whole her book was all about how everything's chaos this, chaos that. But she made a cool point in the script. I don't have it on the tip of my tongue who wrote the script for this book, but it was saying how everything, all language and all the written word is just chaos we all agreed upon. Like little squiggles on a page and these random collection of letters that we've decided that spell out this. It's something we've all decided on. Yeah. So it was kind of a cool look at Harley, and I actually enjoyed that villain issue. So
that's cool.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Kind of a slow comic news cycle.
Very very dry.
I did notice. I didn't know this was happening, like an ongoing thing, but George Perez facing a little bit of medical issues. He's got some hemorrhaging in one of his eyes, and he posted a picture on his Facebook and his Twitter feed. George Perez's new pirate look. Yeah. He wanted to keep it kind of, personal, because as is his right, because, but he's got some panel and con appearances coming up, so it's not going to stay secret.
He posted artwork from his new book. Yeah, I don't know if you
and he's still drawing. He actually made a joke saying, like, he's still doing art and drawing, but, a little bit more slowing down a little and more attention to detail in that. Mm-hmm. So just, he's always been one of my personal favorites. He's one of the legends of the comic industry. So hopefully everything works out for him and he makes a speedy recovery. So
agreed.
Yeah, feel better, George Perez. Yay! Yeah, not too much big on the comic front. Not too much news.
Been playing a little video games, have you?
I've been playing some of the Vidja Games.
What's the big video game?
Warhammer Online. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not playing Warhammer Online. GTA 5.
Just came out.
Yesterday,
right?
Yeah. Well, 12:01 midnight releases. I didn't go to that. I've been to a couple of 12:01 midnight releases for games in my day. The last one I did was a few years ago for World of Warcraft's Lich King expansion, and I
didn't
me
work
and my
out.
friend I was in line with, and the people we were talking to outside the store, we got egged. Yep. Someone drove by.
Nerds.
Someone drove by and threw eggs at the crowd. The funniest part about that story, though, was the guy in front of us hanging with his friends, who then hopped on his bike and pedaled after the guys that egged us. And one of the other guys in line made the greatest joke I've heard in the lineup ever. He goes, "Wow, talk about an epic mount," about the guy on his bicycle, and the entire line just cracked up laughing. So that was kind of fun.
Nothing funnier than nerd humor.
Yep. Yeah. That's the only place that joke would have played out.
Yeah, probably.
You got to know your audience, and that was the perfect time to pull out an epic mount joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did hit the midnight release. I had prepaid for my copy.
So you were getting it no matter what.
Yeah. So. I showed up. It took me about 10-15 minutes to get it. So the 8 gig install, I had to delete a couple of things off my hard drive. And for people who do have the game, if they're going out to buy it this weekend or whatever, not sure if you've seen it, but bit of a heads up: do not install the second Git disc to the Xbox 360 version, because it's a DVD based game for the Xbox, Blu-ray for PS3, obviously. The first disc is an install disc, so it rips off all the data that it needs, installs it to your hard drive, and then you play off the second disc. Xbox lets you install discs to the hard drive to kind of increase load times, stuff like that. Yeah. Rockstar recommended not doing that.
Huh.
So avoid installing disc 2. There has been some issues with the Rockstar Social Club that's been going on. You can kind of sign up for the service. You can post pictures from in the game. You get little new bonus features, items, weapons, and as the game gets on and on, it'll play a bigger role, assuming as well for GTA Online when that comes out in October. It'll probably be a big part of that. There's also an iPhone app you can download where you can customize your car, change your license plate and everything. That's had some technical issues. And you can also train your Rottweiler dog through the app as well when you're not playing the main game. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Unsuccessfully, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So I'm hoping the bugs are worked out soon. But it is a fun game. It's got all the great elements of a bunch of other Rockstar games: Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4, Midnight Club Racing. I haven't played any tennis yet, so I'm not sure if table tennis is in there. But I've had more fun in the 4 or 5 hours that I played so far with this game than I had in the 20 or so I put into GTA 4. This game has a much better tone, I'd say. It's got more levity to the story. The characters in it, while they're down in their luck, they're struggling, they're not happy, there is levity to the story. It's not, oh my god, I am just miserable playing this game. This actually has a sense of fun to it. So I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. I've only got a tiny part of the world that I've gone through. But any game that lets you take a selfie of yourself on your cell phone on the train tracks is a fun game. Yeah, it's probably going to end up being Game of the Year quite easily.
I was talking with someone at my workplace, and this person has been playing it. And he said, because he keeps himself informed about this type of stuff, I guess. He said that they put something like $2.5 billion into development of this game. Not million, billion.
No, he's wrong. It's about $250 million they spent.
I don't know, because
they're expecting $1 billion or $2 billion in returns, but no publisher would let the developer spend that much money
because he said they tried to make it as realistic as possible. So, like, if you're talking to a gangster, they actually brought in mob guys to do the voices.
There's apparently some gang related people that came in, but it was not that. It has the highest budget of any video game, but it's about $250 million, I think. I'll check the stats, but I read the article about it. It was nowhere. It was not in the billions.
Okay, so maybe he just mixed up his numbers.
Yeah, they're expecting $1 billion or so return on the game.
I'm sure they'll get it.
So, I mean, yeah. But it's a very big budget for a video game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they're like the new movies. They just immerse you.
The world they've created for this is fantastic. The characters that are in it are fun. I've only had a chance to play as 2 of the 3 characters so far. I thought I would like Michael a lot, and I do. The other guy, the crazy redneck guy, I haven't played as yet, and I figure I'm going to enjoy him the most because he is the complete opposite end of the spectrum of my issues with GTA 4. He looks like the fun type of guy that's going to enjoy the world he's in, but Franklin is such a cool character, and I'm really enjoying what he's going through and the world that he's in.
That's cool.
So it's fantastic. Plus, Chop! Props to Chop if anyone's out there playing the game. I love that little dog. So cool. You can play catch with the dog.
That's cool.
There's so much stuff in the game you can do that doesn't involve actually playing the game. And definitely the Red Dead influences are in there. Like the weapon wheel is probably the best thing they've added to GTA in a long time. Love the weapon wheel. They still have the nasty habit of giving you the pop-up instructions while mid-mission. Yeah. If I'm doing like $120 down the highway and then a little black box pops up and tells me a little tip, I can't read it. But thankfully as well, a little cool thing that Rockstar did, when you're playing the game, if a friend pops on Xbox Live, it doesn't put it at the very bottom of the screen to like distract you from what's going on. It puts it in the top right corner. I can't think of another game that's done that. So I was very happy with that. So I'll probably have a bit more of an in-depth review on my blog coming up once I've got a bit more time into the game. But another cool bit of tying into GTA news. One of the other great open-world sandbox games, Saints Row, the developer Deep Silver did a really hard troll on Rocksteady this week. Or Rockstar. They put out a DLC patch for Saints Row 4, but they called it the GATV DLC pack, named after Johnny Gat, the main character in Saints Row. And they put out a promotional video and everything, and they put through some Twitter promos, and a lot of people started getting confused, so they were tweeting about hashtag GATV instead of GTAV for Grand Theft Auto 5, and a lot of people got confused over it. I mean, that Deep Silver basically, they made Saints Row to be a gag version of GTA when it first came out, but it's kind of gone its own way, and they're both valid, great games in their own right, and this was just another one of their funny little pranks to pull, and I really enjoyed it.
That's cool.
I thought it was funny. For our Diablo fans out there, the much maligned, hated, worst feature of Diablo 3 is going kaputs coming up in March. The real money auction house is vanishing from Diablo, so people who start playing after that can no longer pay to win. So you could max out a credit card and buy all your high-end loot as opposed to, playing the game.
Sucks.
It was I understand the idea behind it because they saw how much real money people were making off of WoW, and they wanted to try and, A, get their own little part of it, and B, make it a bit easier for people. Yeah. But the way it was done, the way it was handled, the systems they put in place just didn't work. And for Diablo, it just didn't seem like a good idea to begin with. So that's going bye-bye.
Cool.
Yeah. We've got a cool collection bundle pack coming up soon. I think it's coming out end of the month.
For Diablo?
No, for Batman.
Oh.
It's called Batman Arkham Bundle. You get Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition, so you get all the download challenge maps, all cool. The add-on little content in that, and Batman Arkham City Game of the Year edition. So the Catwoman DLC, the Robin DLC, the Nightwing DLC, and the challenge maps and everything. Get it all in one bundle for 360 and PS3 for about $50.
That's pretty good.
So they just had a WB sale on 360, so if you do the math, it would have worked out to be a little bit cheaper, but you get the disc-based copies, which are always nicer to have. Keeps them off your hard drive. And it's a good price, $50 for all this content. I have to get rid of both of my copies of those games because my PS3 crapped out, so I traded them in. So I might be picking this up because they're great games. Asylum is better than Arkham City. Don't really care what other people say. Asylum is a better game. City has the open world problem because it's the first open world, quote unquote, open world Batman game. Yeah. And it suffered from a little bit of problems here and there. The narrative kind of spun out of control a little bit. Asylum had a tighter story being set in an enclosed environment. Yeah. So I like a tight linear story for that type of game more so than a GTA open world game. Yeah. They did a great job on City. Asylum's better. That was pretty good. Another big video game news story of the week. Any old school video game fans out there remember Mutant League Football on the Genesis? The creator developer is doing a Kickstarter account for a Mutant Football League. So just flipping the title a little. He's got some people in the industry that he knows because he's been a developer in the industry for quite a while. So he's got some friends of his and some people lined up to make this new version of the game. So my interest was piqued as soon as I read it because I've been wanting a new Mutant League series of games for like 20 years basically.
That's what you've been waiting for.
Did you play Mutant League Football and Mutant League Hockey?
I saw it, had no interest.
They are me and my friends spent so many hours playing those games on the Genesis. They're so much fun, and they've just vanished from the earth. So the goal is $750,000. As of this show, I checked it this morning. It's around $20,000 right now with 27 days to go. So it just started, and they've got some of the incentives for people, the rewards, some T-shirts, some clothes, some hats, and little pieces of memorabilia here and there for the higher tier goals. Some of them you can get plays put in the game. You can get a character put in the game if you obviously put in more money. Yeah. So, I mean, they've got some pretty good incentives.
Well, then, as a huge fan, have you donated?
I have not. Here's why. I want to see where they go with this. When I first checked the page out yesterday or the day before...
So maybe see if they get the extension goals or whatever.
That's the thing. Their stretch goals were a little bit curious and odd to me. The $750,000 is for a mobile version, PS3, and Xbox 360. Yeah. The development cycle on this game is 14 to 18 months. So they're thinking spring 2015. Yeah. I'm getting a PS4. I'm getting an Xbox One at least probably next year at the latest. Yeah. And in 2015, they're going to be putting this out on the 360 and the PS3. I won't have those systems by then. I probably won't have my 360 hooked up still by then. Yeah. And for the mobile platform, I don't know what phone I'm going to have in 2015. So I was a little bit suspicious about that being their target goal. And they had a stretch goal of like $2, $3, or $4 million. I think it was $2 million to get it on Xbox One and PS4. Yeah. I'm thinking, you want a stretch goal of that much to put it on the what's going to be current gen consoles. So I'm holding off until I see where they go with this. I check it today, those stretch goals have been removed. They said they want to focus on getting it out on what they've done, but they really want to get it on quote-unquote next-gen systems. By the time this game comes out, that's current-gen. Yeah. So I was a little bit upset and annoyed by that. So that's why I didn't put in money right away.
Maybe they're thinking... Remember, they kept making and producing PS1 games long
There's
after,
still going to be support for the PS3 and the 360. Yeah. But middle of 2015? Yeah. I don't know. That might be stressing it a lot. I mean, the top talent, the top games, and top focus is going to be on the current gen systems. And if you're only able to release them for that system, and I'm not going to have them hooked up, and a lot of people won't have them, I'm going to be a little worried. Yeah. And it might dictate how much I give them. I still want to give them some money, but I want to see how this goes later on.
Maybe your best bet is to dig out a Sega Genesis and just play the old one.
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea.
I'm sure you can get the game fairly cheap.
I don't know. People hold on to those things. They were the big black cartridges with the yellow tab on the side for the extra RAM. That's how you know a quality Genesis game.
Yeah.
If you crack open your box and there's that little yellow tab and the cartridge is taller, you're in for a good time.
Cool.
Yeah. We got a little bit of toy news this week.
Some toys.
Just a wee bit. Nothing too spectacular.
All right.
But Matty Collector. I know we talked about Matty Collector a bit on this show.
That's all right though.
Yeah, their Masters of the Universe subscription service is continuing, so
that's good.
That's good. There's a couple of things that I might actually want to try and pick up. The April subscription figure for next year is a figure in the likeness, which is kind of a cool thing they actually managed to do, of Blade from the 1987 He-Man Masters of the Universe movie. There's always been licensing issues with getting figures based upon the actor likenesses from that movie.
Yeah.
That's why they've only done a couple of figures from that movie, and they didn't look at all like the guys from the movie. Huh. But this one looks like Blade. He has his weapons, his energy whip and everything, and it looks great. He has his chainmail armor and everything.
That's sweet.
So it's going to be there.
What about Dolph Lundgren He-Man?
Not yet. I'm hoping not only does this sell the subscriptions, but it sells out when it comes in the store and they see people want that.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Dolph Lundgren He-Man and a Frank Langella Skeletor. Yeah. I would pay $50 a figure for each of those. So I might buy one in support of the idea of getting He-Man movie line figures.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Not too many people know Blade.
He was one of the cool bad guys.
He was. I mean, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But not everyone will, so I can't really see a sellout. Unless it's hardcore toy collectors.
People who are in that line are looking for unique pieces that they actually want, and these three here are great figures. The next one coming out in May of 2014 is Scorpia from the Filmation series.
Yeah.
She was one of Hordak's henchpeople.
Yeah.
Henchpeople? Pretty much in every episode.
Yeah.
So she looks great. She's got like the Hordak crossbow, little pincers, the scorpion tail. Great looking figure.
Cool.
So that might be another pickup. But as much as I love the Blade figure from the movie, my big thing is the May oversized figure. I was a big fan of the He-Man 2000 series cartoon that came out. And one of my favorite episodes was kind of looking at the history of Eternia and featured King Grayskull. The huger version of He-Man, where the power came, like the power of Grayskull. That's what it was in that version of the cartoon. It was from him, and he had his own mount, like Battle Cat for He-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He had a guy called Battle Lion.
Basically
a giant version of Battle Cat, but it's a lion instead of a tiger. And this thing is huge.
Is it green?
It's green fur. It's got sculpted armor, which is removable, and you can actually have King Grayskull, either of the releases, the Comic-Con or the normal version, actually sit on him and ride him.
That's cool.
So I've been pricing up King Grayskull figures to try and get one, and I want to get this Battle Lion because I think it'd be a fantastic display piece. So those are coming out next year from Matty Collector.
Cool.
So very, very happy.
That does sound like good stuff.
I'll check the video. You'll see the picture. I'll send you the link to it. It's a really cool looking figure. It's a giant green lion in battle armor.
That's awesome.
That's pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah.
So you were writing on your blog this week about the season finale of.
I did a season
Dome,
recap,
and
not
those that are under it,
but not episode by episode. I just basically
overall.
what I liked and. What was not good.
What did you think of the show? I'd like to talk about it a little bit, but not too much.
I did really enjoy the show. I liked it. They really kept you hooked, which is what I liked. That was the main thing. Can they keep you hooked episode to episode when you know they're not going anywhere under this dome? They're stuck.
Yeah.
How do they keep your interest? And I found that they did. There was always something happening, whether it's Big Jim going crazy or...
That guy is a little nuts.
He's crazy. Or Junior going off the rails, which...
That guy is... I don't know what to make of that character.
Sometimes he's, like, okay, and sometimes he's creepy, and then, like, it's just whatever. But...
Gives off that creepy little rape
They're doing a good job with him. Like,
There are characters in the show that I do like. Like, I kind of like Barbie. I think he's kind of cool.
I like Barbie, yeah.
Shumway, she's okay.
Yeah.
She's not the brightest, but she's alright.
Yeah.
The radio DJ I kind of like.
I liked her, until, the end.
But my thing is, I enjoyed the show overall. Visually, it's a cool show. It has a neat little small town vibe. I did like how some of the episodes they were dealing with the worst humans have to offer when they're put in this type of situation. The season finale kind of twisted around to the whole Bible God issue.
A little bit.
Which, fine. It's if this is a story, it's an idea to explore.
That's where you think they're going, but is that where it's going? Yeah,
exactly. It's an idea to explore. The whole season finale cliffhanger thing I wasn't a big super fan of, especially because we're getting a second season, but it's not going to be till like next summer. Yeah. So, I mean, like, let's resolve a story and then, like, do little threads. Well, you can't.
They're under a dome. That's the story, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, the character story, the character threads. We could wrap something up and tease a new one, not keep us waiting more time.
No,
especially in 12 episodes. I mean, they could have done some more. My biggest issue with the show is the gargantuan leaps in logic some of these characters make. And it's written by Brian K. Vaughan, who is
he doesn't write every episode, though.
The finale was written by Vaughan.
Yeah.
And some of the dialogue was awful. The leaps in logic these characters continually make baffle me.
Like, okay, give me an example of a leap in logic.
The egg shuts off the dome. What? You don't know anything about this.
Who said that, though, that one?
The kid.
Well, see, the kids are only guessing because they've been sort of in contact with it.
And then everybody is going on their assumptions.
Yeah.
They are making tremendous leaps in logic.
Yeah.
Like, Big Jim is clearly the antagonist of the show.
Yeah.
But he is, a realist.
Yeah.
You've got other people making massive leaps in logic. And that's been one of my biggest things about the show. And I know it's a mystery show. It's based on a Stephen King property, so that they're stretching it out and trying to also tie it with the book.
Yeah.
But, let's give some answers. Let's not always question everything. Let's,
Well, you kind of got to, though. That's the thing. It's a science fiction story, too, right? That's science fiction. You have to question stuff.
Either don't give us the answers and let us make our own conclusions, but don't give us half answers either.
Yeah.
I don't want a mystery figure to show up who clearly took the time to come in and answer some of the questions and then, just F off.
I know.
Either whatever force, whatever they decide to go with, whatever put this here, if it's going to be the same as the book or different than the book, either they show up and they give answers, or they just don't.
That wasn't my main problem. My main problem was some of the writing. Especially that sheriff, was it Linda? Sheriff Linda, or whatever her name is?
She is the dumbest cop.
She started out good at the beginning of the show.
When she had that main cop who was in Lost,
but
they had her
as it goes on, she gets dumber and dumber and dumber.
You're trying to tell me an officer of the law who is so steadfast with the law, when it got to the cliffhanger of the season finale, she was okay with that?
Yeah, I know.
I don't... And there's something you and I are going to talk about off camera because I don't want to bring it up on this podcast, but I want to see your ideas about it. So I'm just, and a lot of them don't feel like people.
No, I didn't have too much problems with that. Mainly, it was just some of the bad writing in some instances.
It's the same issue I had with some of the stuff in Man of Steel. They don't really seem like they're communicating with each other. They're just relaying information for the audience.
Yeah.
It's a problem with the script, and some of the issues were from Vaughn episodes, and he's a better writer than that.
I know.
I don't know if it's what they did to his writing, in transitioning it to a screenplay, or the delivery, or what.
There could have been cuts in the episode too. You never know, right?
Yeah.
I've
taken to calling the actor that plays Barbie discount Joel McHale.
That's funny.
He looks
like
true,
Joel McHale. He does, eh?
Yeah.
But Sheriff Linda. Yeah. She's the
worst sheriff.
She's terrible,
ever.
And her acting. I don't know. Either she's really good at playing stupid, or she's just not that good.
Yeah. I'm gonna tune in for the second season. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm definitely gonna watch the second season. I highly recommend the show. Yeah. It's a good science fiction show.
You will enjoy it for either the mystery show that it is, or as it's devolved throughout the course of the season, basically a looking at the show as a comedic side of it, as me and my girlfriend do when we watch the show. When a bad piece of dialogue comes in, we'll trump up and be like, "What?
I know.
Why are you assuming this, Big Jim?"
I know. But it keeps you coming back.
It does. It does keep you coming back. For whatever.
That's the hallmark of a great show. Yeah, it keeps you watching.
For whatever reason you watch the show, you will keep coming back to it.
Yeah. So, good show. I do recommend it. You can check out my blog post. Yeah. Tiny little bit extra TV news we got. Our Monday night premiered Sleepy Hollow.
I heard about that.
I loved it. It was great. Little twist.
Is this the time traveling Sleepy Hollow?
Little twist on it. You know, to the familiar movie and all that. Expanded, of course. This, right? Oh yeah, he's great. Expanded on it, of course. But yeah, you want to check out a good show. If you know what Sleepy Hollow is, then tune in, because Headless Horseman, all that stuff, really good. Now that's a good procedural.
I still want my Daredevil procedural.
That would be awesome too.
That'd be a way to introduce Daredevil into the bigger Marvel universe.
Maybe spin-off from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Just have Matt Murdock, lawyer by day, prosecuting these people, and then by night he's Daredevil.
Yeah. So we got some internet news.
Yeah, little interweb news.
I got a couple things.
Cool.
What do you got?
Fantastic. I got Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2.
I heard about that.
They debuted the full-length trailer, and it looks just as good. Season 1 was great. I love the...
Do they have some of the same people?
All the same people, and the original Shang Tsung.
Really?
Yeah, from the Mortal Kombat movie.
That's awesome.
So he's in it, and it's spectacular. They even do a cool explanation of the whole get over here, where that comes from with Scorpion. This one is actually the tournament now, Season 2. Season 1 was like setting the players up, moving pieces around, getting them in place, and it was great. The whole one episode per character, the vignette style, great. I love Season 1. The Raiden episode, if you haven't seen it, I'll toss a link below. Check it out.
Still on Machinima, right?
Still on their channel. It's a great piece of television. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Season 2 of Mortal Kombat Legacy kicks off on the 26th of September. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I can't remember if if they're doing a big episode dump, like Netflix, where you get everything, or they're going to be rolling them out weekly. Season 1 was a weekly rollout. I prefer...
But it was only, 10 minutes an episode, roughly, too, right?
I prefer an episode dump. Like, give me all of them.
Yeah, I know. So, that's the thing. I'd watch them all at once.
Yeah. The director, he's still pushing for his Mortal Kombat movie. They're working on a script, and they're still trying to push through getting this movie made.
I really hope they do.
I do, too. It's going to be separate from the web series, though. Because they want to have it be its own thing, which I'm totally cool with. With what they've done with Mortal Kombat over the years in the games, I don't think it's going to be that hard to have a web series and a movie.
I agree. So, as you may or may not have guessed from our intro, there was a little...
troll?
Call it, I don't know what you want to call it. Call it whatever you like. Going around the internet about Justin Bieber as Robin the Boy Wonder in the new... Batman Superman movie.
Lost their... Are we actually calling it Batman Superman?
Because that really
makes it sound like a Batman movie.
Superman Batman movie.
Just call it World's Finest.
Superman 2.
Call it Man of Steel 2 World's Finest. How about that?
All right. Anyways.
People were lost their minds.
It was denied, flat out denied officially.
Well, it was
he will not be Robin the Boy Wonder.
Look at the script. No movie studio is going to send that type of script to anybody. It's obviously shooting under a code name.
Yeah.
Like Intimidation Game for Batman sequel when they were doing Batman sequel to Batman Begins. Like, they're not going to put the logo on it. Frank Miller's not going to get a credit, otherwise they have to pay him.
Exactly.
It is just dumb, and they're not going to leave him alone in a locker room to take a photo of the script. Exactly. It's not even done yet.
So, for those of you, like Garry here, anticipating Justin Bieber in a new film,
brimming with anticipation.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
I'm brimming with anticipation.
Justin Bieber will not be your Robin.
As much as I dislike Justin Bieber for the media whore that he is, it's fine. Whatever. It's a little prank. Gives him some more exposure because that's his job.
Yeah.
And I was watching Movie Bob's reaction to this.
Yeah.
And he's like, now if Robin is in this movie, whoever they do cast, not as bad as Bieber.
Yeah. Well, you never know. He could be a fantastic Robin. Hard to say. Maybe he's got the chops. You know?
He'd be a great Carrie Kelly.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
On the Batman front,
Oh, man.
He's not going to listen to this show. We're not going to get in trouble.
Oh, man. All right. What else you got?
The Dark Knight Legacy fan film that popped up online. Speaking of Batman, quick little 7-minute fan film. It's kind of takes place after Dark Knight Rises with Robin Levitt, Gordon Levitt, whoever the hell. Not actually starring him, obviously, but his character. I can't even remember the guy's name from the movie. Robin, whatever. So, it takes him picking up the mantle as being Nightwing. They got a little Red Hood in there as well.
Oh, that's
cool. A couple
cool.
other classic Batman villains. And it's on Machinima. I'll toss a link in the comments, the description.
Cool.
And kind of well done. Nice little polish to it. I wouldn't mind seeing this go as a series if they wanted to. Nice costumes, good effects. And some DC heritage playing into it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's pretty
sweet. All the things better than the last actual Batman movie. Thank you, Chris Nolan.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, another sequel coming up. Not a direct sequel, but new Harry Potter film. Did you hear about that?
I read that, yeah.
J.K. Rowling
last week.
is writing the script for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Which is cool she's writing it, because she couldn't really see anyone else doing the screenplay.
And she has 100% script control, meaning whatever she writes is what happens. They cannot change it one iota.
And it's her first screenplay.
Yeah. So
they also
it could be good, or it could be terrible.
They also gave her a deal for her adult-themed book as well to get turned into a TV show, series, or a movie or something.
So if you like Harry Potter, good news for you.
I think this is a cool way to do it. I read some of the stuff about how they're going to do it. The character in the book used to be headmaster of Hogwarts, and there's
so it'll be a lot of history, and she could probably weave in some of the other characters.
He's basically a magical zoologist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I know.
Dragons, I'm in. That cool hippogriff
and it is
thing.
planned as a series of movies as well. So who knows? You could get 5 of them, 8 of them. Who knows, right? Depends on how well they do.
And if it takes place on this book and this character, then there's no Voldemort, no Harry Potter, so they won't have to worry about casting any of those people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it builds, by the time this series is done, it builds up the anticipation for a potential Harry Potter reboot.
Exactly.
Which I believe I've read online, people had the idea that if it were to get rebooted, don't make every book into a movie. Yeah. Pick and choose, because they're all done now. When they were making the movies, they weren't all done.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
or merge them, or something. But who knows? That's a long ways off.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be cool. Magical zoologist. You had me at magical zoologist.
Yeah. So you got anything else there?
Well, the Jimmy Kimmel prank, I think, is one of my favorite news stories.
That was good.
A couple of my friends showed me that twerking fail video, and
I saw it on the news.
It was horrible. It was very geez, okay.
Yeah.
But then Jimmy Kimmel had
She almost broke her ass.
Yeah.
On the
Jimmy
glass
Kimmel
table.
had the girl on his show, and they showed the video, and it was a prank by Jimmy Kimmel. She was a stunt woman, and news outlets ran with it, blaming Miley Cyrus for this girl's injury.
Yeah. Twerking fails and twerking harms.
Yeah.
And
does this dance need to be banned? What is this, Footloose? What's going on? But
he pranked the whole world.
Yeah,
basically.
and it's spectacular. And people are mad at Jimmy Kimmel, which is even better because they kept showing the video, which just draws more attention to it. Which shows.
So the video's still going up.
Yeah, and Jimmy had the point. Jimmy Kimmel had the point. You can't be critical of what you see. Don't just assume. Yeah. I mean, some people looked at it and be like, okay, she burst into flames really quickly.
Yeah.
So, and then it cut off quick at the end. People were suspicious about that. I mean, I thought it was a marketing for something.
But no one...
It got 10 million views in a week, and news outlets picked it up. So, he made his point.
Well, the thing was, he wasn't off to prank anyone right away. He just wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he just puts up the video anonymously.
Yeah, on a private account.
Yep. And he just let it go. And just because someone saw it and then, linked to it and someone else saw it.
They put it up a while ago. It wasn't
Yep, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it wasn't like it went up on a Tuesday and by Wednesday it had 9. It went up months back.
It took time, but eventually it made news everywhere.
Yeah. A model we hope this show follows. So what you're saying is I should set Geoff on fire.
Well...
Surprise! This entire show is a Jimmy Kimmel prank.
if you are done with your little bit of news, I have the best news of the week. Best news of the week.
Every time you say that, it kind of makes me sad on the inside.
I actually think
What's Vin Diesel up to this week, Geoff?
Correct! You nailed it right on the virtual head.
If you say the numbers that I think you're going to say.
Oh, you got it. So, not only are we getting FF7, we are getting FF8.
I'm not laughing, I'm
and FF9 potentialies. Woo!
There are going to be more Fast and Furious movies than there are Final Fantasy games soon.
So it made the news again this week because why wouldn't it make the news? It's one of the biggest franchises in history.
It only made the news because that one character is coming back to them.
That's right. Lucas Black, star of Tokyo Drift, coming back for number 7.
8 and 9.
And potentially 8
I read that and I
9.
just closed my computer down and shut it off for the day. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to go read a book. I don't need to be on the internet.
This tells you just how awesome and spectacular these movies have become.
This tells you how much money these movies make.
Exactly,
That's the only
because
reason.
they are awesome and spectacular. People love Vin Diesel, people love Paul Walker, and people love fast cars and hot ladies and good scripts and awesome directing and big budgets.
Yes, people do love good scripts and awesome directing. I wish these movies had those things.
Oh, they do.
They have Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, fast cars, and pretty ladies. They don't have good scripts.
Just have Jason Statham for number 7. Woo!
The worst kept secret in Hollywood during the summer.
I know, eh? I can't wait. I think it's going to be fantastic. It just keeps getting better. Is that also
2015? FF7?
No, 14. 7 is 14. They're
Really? They're going to crank out one next year?
Well, yeah, that was the plan. They
wow.
greenlit it.
They're going annually?
As soon as it was released, they basically yep, greenlit next year.
We're getting a Fast and Furious every annual on the annual.
Maybe. They're like, Justin Lin, would you like to direct again? He's like, nope, sorry, I got another movie I'm doing. Because I didn't expect you to greenlight it this fast.
Oh, man.
So we're getting, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember. The guy who did Insidious and Insidious 2 and the Saw movies.
Cool.
He is directing number 7, so...
That could take a dark turn.
I don't know. Hard to say.
Ghost cars.
Wouldn't that be awesome? That's how you extend it. The Back from the Dead.
No, I'm just thinking like Mario Kart Ghost Data.
Yeah.
Like, just having, Vin Diesel in a car and then, a ghosted version of Vin Diesel from, a week ago doing the race with him or whatever.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Do they actually race anymore?
They do race.
Legitimate,
they did.
quote-unquote, legitimate racing? Yep. Or is it a heist film now? Or they're heist films?
Well, no. Number 7 was... They had to get, what's her name, Liddy back?
I thought
that was the goal of that one.
No, 7... Did 7 already come out?
Yes.
No,
sorry, 6. Sorry. Yeah. 6 was the goal to get Liddy
6
back.
6 was the heist that they were trying to foil because to get pardons. I don't even...
You don't even know, man.
I don't even... Can you give me an infograph on your blog about the storyline so I can be caught up?
It'd be the highest blog in the whole world. Yeah. The highest rated blog.
And then throw it through a table and set it on fire.
So yeah. FF7, FF8, FF9. You can't get any better. You cannot.
People are going to lose it.
FF7. It is now the only FF7 that matters.
You can go to hell.
The only one.
Hell, go to it right
so
now.
That's it. That's it for this week.
Today's show. I'm going to go play GTA 5.
Big news. So,
gotta go walk Chop.
You can follow us on Facebook at the Pendulum on Facebook. You can subscribe to our wonderful channel here, the Pendulum on TV.
It is wonderful. We
have many videos. You can check out our TV special that just went up on Sunday, talking about TV and new shows coming out.
We're quite articulate and smart when we're on these serious topics.
We are. So check that out. We are both active bloggers. You can check me out on the telltalemind.wordpress.com. You can check Garry out on
shelflifeofwagnarok.wordpress.
As well as Twitter.
The Wagnarok on Twitter.
And follow us everywhere.
We are everywhere you want to be.
Because we're like echoes in your mind. Ooh. Once you listen to us, you can't forget.
Mind echoes.
That's right. So, on that, FF6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Can't wait. Hope it goes to 12.
Party on in Los Santos. Grove Street for life.